13 love, 13 knowledge, 13 wisdom, 13 respect. This is your creation 13. Today we'll be discussing sun charging and looking at the basics of it. And it's very, very simple. It really, really is. And one of the cool things is that the Bible itself talks about the sun a lot. But the word sun is talked about as S-O-N, when in turn it's actually S-U-N. And it really goes into really different perceptions of what that means, right? Because you got two very basic things. You got selectiveness and you got exploration, right? Selectiveness just means that whatever program that you choose that a doctrine presents itself, that's what it is, right? Exploration means that you're going to use that selective knowledge and awareness based upon the doctrine that you chose or you were raised in, right? For example, right, I was born and raised in a Christian home, so that would be my selective doctrine that kind of led me to where I am now. Exploration means that you dig deeper into it. You begin to discover self-revelations, but you begin to explore the understandings of what Christ was talking about through Matthew, Mark, Luke, and John, right? What was being presented with the understanding of going within yourself and discovering the kingdom of heaven within you, discovering the power of what? The sun, the power of the sun, right? Because we're taught that Christ is the Son of man. This gets interesting, but this is just going to be real basic. So I'm going to go ahead, and this presentation isn't done, but it's enough to get us started here. So let me switch my screen here. And there we go. Alright, so sun charging basics. Scholars and researchers have always assumed, based on misguided translations, that ancient cultures worship the sun as a god. If scholars and researchers added the benefits and studies the sun gives to your body and all life, then humanity would realize and understand the teachings the ancient ancestors carved in stone, which is very much like this. And there's so many more carved structures that you can look into, not just Egyptian as presented here, but this definitely gives you a element of identifying what is being presented here, which is the sun. And I've definitely have had ideas that maybe this is not the sun, but something that is still radiating life, right? Because if you do research through different cultures, Saturn is discussed a lot, and there's theories that Saturn may have been the sun at one time. And if that is the case, what is this sun, right? What is this sun? But regardless, there is a representation of life radiating from a light, right? A light source. As we see with the image over here, they have some kind of flowers that are being charged by the sun. And same here. We have a couple with a little deities, could be babies, it's hard to say. But regardless, they're under the sun, giving nourishment to the parents and giving nourishment to these children. Sun charging is how plants grow, as seen in this picture. It's very simple, and yet scholars and researchers assume this is sun worshiping. Without the sun, all life would die. Without this sun right here, life would die. Plants would never grow. All the cells in your body wouldn't regenerate and release toxins within your body. That's what the sun does. That's what the sun does, is it charges you up and releases toxins within your body, right? You know, another way of doing this would be in a sauna, right, and sweating it out of you. But you can sweat with the sun as well. The sun rays are presented with hands giving the unk to the people. What is this unk? It might be a device or a symbol of life, and some say it could be a magic mirror. The sun is the giver of life and nourishment of the body. And it's so very interesting, and I definitely am doing deeper research on the unk because it definitely symbolizes something much more than what we're told. But we got like these two cups here. These could be a light source, right? You know, just like devices you can put out in the sun and it charges, and then you have light, right? Just from the sun charging. So these structures could be that very same element. And then again, we got the sun here. We got the unk being given to this deity, which, man, we got this bird creature here. That's gonna be a cool presentation I'm working on as well. Yeah, there's very different interesting things that are shown within the carved stone. And then at the end of the day, spend time with nature, the giver of life, right? Sit in the sun, breathe, and take the time you need in nature, right? Take time you need in nature. Man, I get so excited when springtime comes around, just because you feel you're in your element. At least I feel I'm in my element outside in nature, right? It's just a very amazing experience out here. And basically, you know, what you're doing with the sun charging is emptying your mind and releasing everything that you know of, right? The selective doctrine or dialogue that you're taught about this sun, right? We're taught that this sun will create cancer, will create radiation, create all these things within your body to harm you, right? This is what scientists want you to believe, right? Because this sun allows things to grow in life, in your vessel, in your body. So if you are eating things that are toxic, you're breathing in toxic, anything toxic, and it lives in you, it's dormant in you, you got parasites and things of that nature, it's going to accelerate that, right? It's going to accelerate that and create disease in your body, right? This is why so many people think the sun is harmful. But in reverse, the sun detoxes you. Now, I'm not saying, hey, spend all day long without sunscreen and all that stuff in the sun. No. Be smart about it, right? You know, I spend like maybe an hour, maybe 2 hours out here, get a little red, and then call it a day, right? You're sun charging. And that's all you need. But if you're out there from, say, 8 o'clock in the morning until 6 o'clock at night, yeah, that's probably not too good for you. So learn how to balance that out, right? Learn how to balance it out. I never wear sunscreen, right? Because do research on sunscreen, and it's chemical based, and all those chemicals absorb in your body. And then since you've absorbed that sun you think is blocking you is actually allowing those chemicals to grow within your body. Just like, say, if you get bacteria and you put it in a refrigerator, right? And then you don't see nothing, but then in a day or two, you see all the mold that is grown and produced from that, right? It's the same thing. It's very, very interesting. So be careful what you put in your body, because this sun will heal you, charge you, and do so much more. So I'm going to go ahead and just teach you the basics of sun charging, and realizing again that we're not worshiping the sun, right? Again, let's go back to these pictures. We're not worshiping the sun. We're being nourished by the sun, right? And if you ever go outside when the sun is rising, flowers rise, trees rise. They sing, and they are so excited that the sun is out. That's why you always see flowers and stuff bloom during the rise of the sun. Very powerful stuff, right? And we are in turn just like flowers, right? So go ahead and switch this back over. All right. So basically what you want to do is definitely get into a quiet setting. And there's definitely very different positions that you can take place, because ultimately what we're doing is we're sun charging. So you want to get all parts of your body. So basically just like what you learn when you want to get a good tan, right? You're going to lay on your back, get your front side, you're going to lay on your front and get the back, right? But there's kickers to this as well. So, and as I've talked about in previous videos, right, we got vortexes. We got the energy points that we can push energy in and out, right? And I'm still exploring the elements of releasing energy and absorbing energy, right? You know, is it just the left and then the right? Is it both? How does that look, right? So definitely exploring into that. But that's what you want to do with these portals within the middle of your hands, is absorb the energy. And you also want to do that with your feet as well, right? Always make sure I take my socks off, and in the middle, I don't want to show my feet, but in the center of your foot is the same thing. You've got a portal in the center of your feet, right? And it's important when you learn how to do energy work, that's how you ground yourself. You're going to push or root your energy into the ground like a tree, right? So you become one. Or you can, once you're rooted, and then those roots, those energetic roots, you've rooted up or down, you also are able to absorb the energy, and it roots through your feet and then all the way up through your body. And that's how you begin to charge and do energy manipulation, which we're all in training, right? There's so much more to it. But this sun here is definitely the main source to get that charge, right? To get the vitamins, to get the minerals. If you spend more time in the sun, you shouldn't be eating a whole lot, because you're getting the nourishment from that sun, right? Man, when I go through winter, man, it's really rough on the body. But once you get the sun, oh man, a whole different element. So anyway, so basically you'll lay down on your back for so many minutes, like 15 minutes maybe, and then do your back 15, 20 minutes, and then repeat. And then you'll want to raise your hands up towards the sun, right? And this is why so many scholars and researchers thought that people were worshiping the sun, because they were doing this, or they looked like they were giving sacrifices to the sun. And that was never the case. That was never the case. It never was, right? You're charging. You can do this with water. You know, you've heard people put crystals and things in their water and put it out in the sun. It charges your water, right? You got a smoothie, you got drinks, right? Charge it in the sun. You're going to get nourishment. It's going to activate whatever's in here. Hopefully it's good stuff. right? But it's going to activate your drinks. Activate your drinks. Blows your mind. So if it activates your drinks, what's it going to do to your body? You got to think about that. So yeah, so you'll just spend time and close your eyes and just allow the rays of the sun to just go through your palms, right? And you'll feel the energy start to go through your hands. And as you allow the energy to flow through your hands, you'll begin to go into the center, which is your heart space, right? The center, which is your heart space. And then it'll just begin to fill your whole body full of light, full of energy. That sounds familiar, doesn't it? So yeah, you just spend time just absorbing the energy. And of course, keep your eyes closed. Don't want you guys to go blind. But if you keep your eyes closed, you can stay focused on the sun and it won't damage your eyes. And this is also where you can communicate with the different life forms that are around the sun. And I've talked about that as well. And get downloads or information from the sun. And this blows your mind because this stuff is talked about in the Bible too. And I'll kind of talk about that here as we end this out. And just spend time out in the sun, just absorbing through the palms of your hands, right? Keep your eyes closed and just absorb the energy through. And you'll feel amazing. The next day, oh man, even just this time now, you'll just feel amazing, right? It just feels like you're being nourished and charged and healed all at the same time. It's amazing. It's amazing. And you can definitely start to get images through your third eye as well. Right? You'll get images, you'll get information as you charge through the sun. So make sure you have a notebook down if there's stuff you need to write down, right? And just breathe and relax in nature. Just allow it to flow through you, right? Don't look for anything. Just allow it to flow through you. And it will change your whole life every day. It's just truly amazing. And one of the secret ancient teachings that have been lost, which is so funny to me because it's so simple. It's so simple. And people have created it into something that it doesn't need to be. But I'm going to go ahead and read these because I'm outside, so the internet's not that great. But just remember when I'm reading this, it's S-O-N is presented here, but we're going to read it as S-U-N. Okay, and this makes so much more sense. It will blow your mind. Whoever has the Son has life. Whoever does not have the Son, God does not have light. Or who does not have the Son of God does not have life. Right? If you're not charging out in the sun, there's no life, right? One of the things I've learned over time is I like to spend a lot of time outside in the nighttime because of the stars and just the really interesting things of it. But I was spending more time out in the nighttime, and while I was sun charging, I really wasn't able to think outside the box as I was sun charging. That there's a lot more activity with the sun than there is in the nighttime. It blew my mind. So I've had to change my perceptions of things, right? And it's really elevated my sense of awareness. And now my ears are ringing. So good stuff right there. Let's see. And that was John 5:12. 1 John 5:12. And 1 John 2:23. No one who denies the Son has the Father. Whoever acknowledges the Son has the Father also, right? The kingdom of heaven is within you. God is within you. The Father is within you, right? That's what Christ talks about. Proverbs 10:1. A wise son brings joy to his parents or the father, but a foolish son brings grief to his mother. That's a metaphor for sure. Let's see, John 8:3-6. So if the Son sets you free, you will be free indeed. And we'll definitely end it on that. John 8:3-6. So if the Son sets you free, you will be free indeed. And you will. Right? Again, we're not worshiping the Son here. We're charging. Right? We're charging. And it's just something you have to explore and understand the nourishments of the sun. Look into what the sun does for all life, for plants, for animals, for your body. What nourishment does it give your son from a human scientific perception, right? Read that first and then dig deeper into it, right? Because we have been taught that the sun can cause a lot of harm. It's the total opposite. Again, if you're spending, you go out there at 7 in the morning, 8 in the morning, until 6 p.m., yeah, it's not good for you. So you have to learn the balance of that and see the benefits from absorbing the energy. And it's so much more to it, right? You want to have as little clothes as possible when you're sun charging. What I've learned in the past, because I used to just come out here and just sun charge, had my shirt on like I do now, and it was hindering the current of the energy. It was hindering it, so I was burning quicker, and the energy couldn't fully absorb in. Because you got to realize in your body there is a lot of pores, and these pores are actually you breathe through these pores, right? All these little pores you have, you breathe through them, right? And these pores detox you. So when you sweat or the stuff you eat, if you're eating bad, the little pores or little mouths will throw up anything that is toxic out of your body. So when you sweat, you are releasing any kind of toxins within your body. That's why it's important to stay hydrated as you sweat, right? Because the sun detoxes you. It's so very important to understand that. So hopefully this helps you in some way, shape, or form. There's so much more to this. I could talk for hours, but hopefully you learned something from it. Enjoy the energies of the sun. You're not worshiping it, but it's definitely some kind of oracle that nourishes the body but also communicates, right? And there's a lot more things that are up there that will just blow your mind. So research UFOs that surround the sun. It's starting to become more and more popular and known, and it will just blow your mind, man. Blow your mind. Look up True Seeker. He has some videos on there as well. So it's amazing. So yeah, spend time in the sun, and as this thing says right here, spend time with nature, the giver of life. Sit in the sun, breathe, and take the time you need. Just release everything. Let it go. Right? The world can be a very chaotic place. You go home from work, you could have stress. Get out into nature and release it. Let it go. Right? Have a day off like I do today. Spend time out in nature and just let it go. Just let it go. And just become a new person. You're a new person every day. You know, people don't tell you that at the end of the day, you actually pass away. You die. And then when you wake up, hopefully you wake up, you rise with the sun. You have risen with the sun. Doesn't that sound familiar? You have risen with the sun and are alive again to experience another day. So it's very beautiful, right? We overlook all these things because of the distractions the world gives us. So let's take that time and explore. So So yeah, so I could talk all day. So love yourself, keep shining bright, and we'll talk to y'all later.